And then it's the stuff that's unsaid because you stop. Now, if somebody's hearing every thought that you push in my head, from Niagara Falls to this, then you're telling people they're killing themselves and they're doing this and they're doing that. And I'm like, what? So not only are you doing that, you're then telling people they're killing themselves. I'm like, okay, it's because of what you're doing. It's because of what you're saying. It's because of all this stuff. It's because you're thinking somebody's out here raping my family, and then you're thinking somebody's out here and I'm not doing nothing about it, or you're thinking that about what St. Helens gonna erupt, and then you're thinking all this other stuff, and then you're like thinking the building's gonna fall. Like, you have no idea. And I'm sitting here trying to be like, stop. Well, maybe they should like corner off the place and put all the irresponsible people away from me, or put all the people that want to exploit, or put all the people that think it's funny, or put all the people that want to that do this and do that, and then you have somebody else that's pushing it. And you're buying earplugs, and you're cutting on Google Home, and Google Home's not working. You're listening to music. You're trying to listen to jazz in your sleep. You're trying to be pleasant when you walk. You got people trying to make the situation pleasant when you walk. Like, you let some body get out of control. And it's like and you feel like, okay, if there is, and I just always say if because I don't want to push that. I'll let the right person and people push that. But you want to get over you want to reiterate the fact of this, that, this, and then you try to say you get somebody else, da 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 da. Hun, y'all were brainwashing, frustrating, getting somebody back on drugs. Not to mention the drugs were already there. We go down the street, I record the same conversation going on in his house. I think I put it online. It's online. And happening in his house when he loses his apartment. And it wasn't because I put that there. People were talking on the terrace. Oh no, not the terrace, the fire escape. Behind the air conditioner. I'm just like, wow, like, y'all have no idea the amount of pressure. And then somebody wants to behind my back, and I'm like, you're behind my back when you shouldn't. And I'm trying to be respectful to both sides. And like, okay, well, if somebody has the capability to do this and it's not y'all, maybe y'all should realize the fact that they could have been done anything and everything they wanted to do if that is the case. Why would they wait? And then you're hiding somebody or hiding something. Because remember, then we talked about being captain. Then all of a sudden it was wanting to be captain to be leader. Then from leader to was it counselor? And then from counselor to preacher, and preacher to preacher, and pope to pope. It's just like, oh my God, like everything, and you just continue and letting somebody continue. It's what gets me. And I said, it would not be that hard for everybody to put $1 together and me to just be like, look, I gotta go. or me going all the way to DC to trying to get away. Or have somebody help me try to figure out how to stop all of the madness. To look at my x-rays like I asked Mount Sinai to look in my ear like I asked my doctor that is my ear doctor to, or my head doctor that is my head doctor, moving brains, or the people that did the scans down at imaging at 59th Circle, right there on the next street over, or trying to have my doctor look at it and read the notes. And then going to Harlem Hospital and they playing with it, and you're like, okay, well, y'all know. So why am I going through this? Then feeling like when you're at Marriott Bonvoy, it's all over. It's like it's all over. Thank God it's all over. This must be when somebody comes and says, this was all just the blah blah, and we're gonna take you somewhere, and and da 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 da. But instead, almost mockingly, you take me around the corner like, oh, let's go put you in a shelter. In a shelter. And then y'all start with people on the street. I'm just like, I even asked her, do you, I'm a civil servant, so da 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 da. And I'm like, okay, but I asked you, are you taking orders from someone? Oh, no, but you are. I go in HRA, but you are. I go to the police department, but you are. NYCHA, but you are. Neighbors, but you are. People here, but you are. Outside, but you are. Some of you. It seems like a majority now. And you have somebody that disrespects me on a daily, and I'm just like, and then you're telling me, don't worry about us, we can take care of ourselves. I'm like, okay, I'm hope that you can. I'm glad that you can, but you got somebody else that says that they can't. So when I say you got freaking frack, it's not a good and a bad, it's just two opposing. And you got one that's like sitting there like we had, like, if it is correct, because nobody's explained. We have the means of being able to do what we need to do. So you're blurring the lines with all your games. Talking about a vaccine. Oh, it's giving it out. I don't have sex. You can't be talking about me. But everywhere I go, I don't have sex like that. I probably had sex, like I said, maybe 5 times this year. I'm trying to think, 3 people. Last year, maybe 4 times. Well, why he give it? Y'all already damn know. You said people follow. People are told to do stuff where I'm at. You don't think people are told outside, or you don't think they go home and tell their people? You think they keep it that quiet? You don't think they go home, girl, today at work, they was wanting me to say all this stuff to this boy. So we was sitting at the trash can, right? And instead of like working, we be down here like messing with this guy and stuff. And we be hearing just frustrated. Today he came out and like, what you call it? Ooh, they ran you out the hall naked. Luckily, and I'm trying to not show myself to anybody, any kids coming on the hall. So like, luckily, no kids should have been there watching. Because first of all, the peephole's too high. The door never opened. And then I asked Chinese boy to possibly like go and look. He could have went in, walked in, cut everything off, and then be fine. Brought a flashlight. He did at least give me a broom. I asked him to call. It was animal control or something. Oh, I can't call. So eventually somebody else called. I was like, oh Lord. And then when they come, it gets blown. They don't really want to let me put on clothes. Let me go in the apartment. Then I got to deal with people on the phone. Then I got to deal with customer service. Then I got to deal with people making stuff frustrating. Then I got to deal with people saying they're going to put this or change this or make this amount on this like this. But then when it happens, it's not right. Then I get a break, which is stamps. And I'm like, at least I can eat. Yeah. Oh, so happy got his money on his knee. Oh, look at him. I'm just ecstatic I get to cook. And I try to listen to music and I'm happy. And I'm okay. Who doesn't listen to music and might sing or might dance? Even if they're sad. And then you're trying to say, oh, now they're trying to take advantage of me. Or now somebody else is up here with this propaganda. Oh, now the others are trying to take advantage of me like y'all are. Maybe they're trying to give you an example of how y'all took advantage of me. Have you ever thought about that? Maybe y'all need a big example. But then whatchamacallit starts saying they're trying to take over or they're trying to do this. No. They're trying to show you an example of what y'all were doing to me. Or what y'all were doing to people. Or what they saw what y'all were doing. Maybe that's that. Because like I said, if they could do all this wookity 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 woo, then maybe what? They could have been. And then they're talking about, oh, how somebody, I guess somebody was killing them. Or I don't know what that was about. That was a whole nother thing. And I was like, oh, wow, what? I'm confused because now it's like a weaker. And I'm like, so you heard something, then you try to blame it on me. Try to put like octopus tentacles in my sink and something else that looks like an egg in my sink. They're talking about spiders and tarantulas. And, oh, I let them out. And oh, I did this. And who taught you this? And who trained you? And can you train us? And I'm just like, I hope I'm not training somebody in what y'all did to me. But then if that's the case, it's y'all fault because y'all should have went ahead and just slipped me a little. Oh no, but we tried to pay you and you didn't come upstairs. Come upstairs. Why not come down? What's wrong with coming to knock on somebody's door? And then you play the ring camera game. Oh, we tried to say we came. Oh, we came. You said every time I leave and come back. I leave notes on my door. Knock. I have started putting like, I'll be back or knock hard because the ring camera's broke all of a sudden. Then the ring camera's fixed, then the ring camera's broke, then the ring camera's fixed, then the ring camera's broke. Then the internet's not up. Then you want to come by, and then it's down, and you know it's down because they call it out. Then you say it's up, then you say it's down, and you come up to the 5th floor because got your check. Then come on outside because outside's got your check. You know, upstairs, then money. Then, we got your old money out. Oh, I'm like, what? Then Joseph King, then not Joseph King, Joseph F. King, which is the older guy. Okay, we made him think that G was your grandson, or is your grandson, or ain't your grandson. I'm just like, all of this stuff. And that was mainly in like the past 2 years. That was just Polo mainly. That was Polo. Mixed in with Bon Boy, mixed in with Now. Now, watered down. I don't even want to go into trying to use drugs here. That example I will not do. I didn't even want to try to do an example of that. It got to the last little bit to where I was like, okay, I need to try to say and get it on camera because somebody's forcing me to do it. And nobody's doing anything about it or saying anything about it. And then harassing me, having me break my stuff, having me replace my stuff, and then stopping me from getting money, and saying you're stopping me from getting money because you don't want me to spend it on drugs. But then I'm like, okay, if I get money, I don't. I fix things. How many blinds I bought? Bought carpet. Bought a floor for my apartment. Redid my bathroom 3 times actually. And they made a kick out of tearing it up, but it's not. Then you try to make it sound like, oh, the others did it. No, that was y'all, Nick. That was y'all regular people. Some of y'all regular people. In the hallway talking. Outside talking. Way across the way talking. I was like, that nigga was way over there to the gym somewhere. Then I go to the grocery store by the gym talking. Deli's talking. Dang near the little fake dealer or the dealer. Scooter dealer want to try to fight me at the ATM after I asked him nicely to move. So I'm pulling out assault for that because I'm like, why are you doing that? Why now are you listening to somebody? And then somebody like, go where? For what? I've been to several where they've all pretty much done. If you want an example, you don't need one, huh? You got commission reports. You got people that should tell the truth. You got Elmhurst. You got Harlem. You got who else? So many that should just tell the truth. Mount Sinai, you tried to do the charges, was the charges thing with the outlet thing when I was there? I was like, well, are you trying to give an example to them? Because somebody might be lying to you. The right people probably weren't watching. They're always trying to brainwash me into this thing like, oh, these people. But then all of a sudden, I made too much noise for them not to. So when I went to the FBI and they started laughing and joking and doing the same stuff, I'm like, okay, well, then you must know. And then when I went to do a restraining order and y'all went to talking back on the phone and doing all this extra stuff and then coming out and the police officers doing it, you must know. At the police precinct, you must know. In my precinct 6, when I was talking to the last guy, the heavyset older guy, We went back into the back area and y'all were like making fun of this stuff and say, oh no, that's what you call his fave. And I'm like, so then y'all know. You here because you're giving him instructions on what to do. Police precinct on 135th, the same thing. The college, the same thing. So my thing is when and what and how do I get somebody to approach me the appropriate way? I've tried numerous and various ways. But then you make me look like I'm the bad guy now. So that nobody else approaches me. That's like beyond messed up because I'm sitting here, I just want to be happy and have my kid and provide for my kid in a setting that I know will be safe. But then you make it sound, oh, not to mention the sounds of kids and sex. Or what was it? Watching a kid watching you from the closet. What? Or like I want a kid and now y'all are making like me throw up in Aldi, throw up in Target, throw up in Home Depot about some child molestation type crap. Then you are mixing when I'm trying to have adult time with kid noises next door. You're telling kids to cry. Every time I try to do something, you told a kid to make a I'm like, oh, what the? And you had kids outside. The little kids were running around, making all that noise and mimicking and trying to show. And I'm like, why would they use kids? And they had to be told how to do it from somewhere. And I went out to the kid day thing, and it was kind of nice. The kids weren't treating me bad, but some were kind of looking at me. And I'm like, oh, Lord. The others was like, hey. So now there's that. There's this oddness. Then I have to push all these thoughts of kids and sex and stuff way left. And you want to call it out like I'm thinking about it. Well, I guess I'm thinking about it, but not as a wanted to think about it. That's what you need to say. This is a bee wash moment from when da 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 da, but somebody brought up da, and now he's like disgusted and getting where his stomach is getting queasy and he's throwing up. Like it was so much, and then I'm looking at the guy like he wants like come up and stand up, come up and dude, I can barely walk sometimes. Like I try to make myself happy and try to walk. I mean, I try to always look on the bright side. When I'm having to come outside and yell at the top of my lungs in front of you, that's totally not me. Saying if somebody got something to say while I'm inside about da 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 da, da I'm outside. Right? An arm's length of whatchamacallit. And I wasn't going around telling people your nickname was Monterey. That was an inside personal thought. I wasn't sitting here daydreaming. Then people come back, oh, you were googly eyes in my. So it went from you trying to help to y'all playing, I guess, along with it, to now I'm googly eyes in everybody. Like, no, dude, I haven't come back up there to Google eyes. If I was Googling eyes and like that, I'll be back up there Google eyesing. And I haven't been. I've been up there to take care of business and try to go. And then somebody talking about, oh, did you take this and did you do this? Are you healthy? Are you like, did you go to the doctor? Da da da. And testing and that and that and this and that. They're probably trying to let y'all know that they know. or they sat back and watched. And that's the messed up part. But then you gotta, somebody else that wanna bring themselves in the conversation, pause yourself. First, you have to prove, or you gotta get one person through everything. You got somebody that wants to, what's the word? Big themselves up. Or, oh, I'm out here. Oh, he hasn't even got up today. I need y'all extra comments. I don't sit around and say, oh, he down here sleep today. Or he down here not doing nothing today. Or da da da. I just say when I asked you to do something, it is your job. I don't care what you were doing prior to, as long as ain't nobody heard. But you sitting up there, da 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 da. You'll never say, oh yeah, already went out and got all his stuff, just half his paperwork done. He's already made his appointment to go into the doctor, so he's just waiting to go to the doctor. And then, oh, well, we're not talking. We're talking to somebody else. No, you're talking, and you're mixing stuff. And then you try to make it look like you're not. And then the problem never gets resolved. You just move on. Oh, he's applying for a job. So I'm supposed to have gone through all that with all that trauma and then just go on and still let somebody sit around and play Mr. Mind Read. Oh, and then not to mention, that's supposed to be your entertainment. So then you make somebody